I got a 12-team full PPR mock draft for you today from the 4th overall pick, and I went with the 0 RB approach in this one, and I really like how this team turned out. So you're going to want to stick around for this one, but before I get into it, if you could take a quick second, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. We actually did this mock draft live on stream, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on anything, and let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts on the 0 RB approach? Do you like it? Are you going to be doing it in your drafts this season? Let me know in the comments, and let's get into the mock draft. It's a 12-team full PPR. I'm going to go from pick 4. Let's see how this goes. Kind of feeling a 0 RB build, but you know, I think that's what I want to do here. So I'm going to do a 0 RB build. Here we go. All right, 0 RB. We got Puka Nacua, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I love Puka. Honestly, Matthew Stafford has been such a great quarterback that it seems wherever he goes, whatever wide receiver he has, he brings the greatness out of them. Puka Nacua has benefited from that. Can't go wrong with him there. Back to me, we got Rashee Rice, George Pickens, Nico Collins, Chris Olave, Malik Neighbors. We talked about him. He's looking good. And, you know, right now, the ADP does not reflect how he currently is performing right now. Obviously, Rashee Rice, Nico Collins, Malik Neighbors is what I'm looking at. And I'm going to go with Nico Collins over Rashee Rice. And then hopefully, no, there goes Malik Neighbors. I was hoping that Malik Neighbors would make it back to me, but that is okay. I am okay with that. So let's go. We're going to go another wide receiver. We got Chris Olave, which I like Chris Olave, but I don't know why. I just do not like clicking on him. There's just, he's been good. You know, even last season he was good. And this is probably a bad thought process by me. And, you know, don't feel like you need to share the same thought process. And obviously, if you don't, you don't. But the Chris Olave situation, he's had so many concussions that I believe it caused him to, it was last season that it caused him to miss some time. But it's like he's had so many that it's getting scary to the point that if he gets another one that you know, 2 weeks that it usually is turns into 4 or 5 weeks. You know what I mean? Like the protocol just gets extended the more and more you get concussions. Not saying that you can predict that, but that makes me not want to click on him. I'm going to go with T. Higgins here. I love the Cincinnati Bengals this season. Boosted that defense that they desperately needed to do. They focused on that this offseason. They did lose a defender yesterday. I don't have the name on the top of my head, but they did lose a defender yesterday, which is unfortunate. But this offense, we know Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, you know, we know those guys are great for fantasy football. We know they're going to go put up points. Hopefully they finally got a defense to kind of take some of the pressure off. Obviously for fantasy football, we love when the defense is bad because that means they need to put up points. So maybe that does affect the fantasy output of someone like T. Higgins. But man, he has been great for being a wide receiver too. He's a wide receiver 1 on a lot of teams. You know, so being able to be productive even behind Jamar Chase, I don't mind grabbing him. And then I'm going to go with Zay Flowers here. This Baltimore Ravens offense is going to look completely different. Now, I do have a little bit of concern with the offensive line. They did lose their center, Tyler Linderbaum, who we all know that he was the best center that out in free agency. Goes and signs with the Raiders, which is why Ashton Genty, pretty promising for him this year. I think that offensive line is going to help open up some holes for him. Yeah, I think Zay Flowers, solid, getting him in the 4th round. But now let's try to go for some running backs here. We got Cam Scatterbo, David Montgomery, Bashaw Tutin, and I am going to go with Cam Scatterbo here. as my first running back. We'll see what running backs make it back to me. But not too bad so far. We got Puka Nacua, Nico Collins, T. Higgins, Zay Flowers, Cam Scatterboo, and now we're going to go with another running back here. We got Jalen Warren, Chuba Hubbard, Jadarian Price, Ramondre, Tony Pollard, and I'm going to go with Jadarian Price. You know, they invested a first-round pick into this guy. I already saw highlights of him catching passes, which we want in PPR leagues, and that's what this is a full PPR. You know, so I like Jadarian Price. I think he's one of the better value running backs, especially if you're doing the 0 RB build. We got 2 running backs. Let me look at tight ends. Yeah, I'm not going to go for a tight end now. Look at quarterback. We got anyone that I feel like I want to pair up, maybe? No, I'm not seeing anybody. So, again, we'll do 3 running backs in a row here. I'm looking at Tony Pollard here. Maybe Rico Dowdle. I'm going to go with Tony Pollard here. There is a little bit unknown with the Tennessee Titans. They complete wiped house with the coaching staff. So whole new coaching staff. This offense should look a whole lot different. But Tony Pollard has been a solid running back. So I don't mind grabbing him there. And now it is back to me. And I feel like I should go for another running back. You know that? Got J.K. Dobbins that I'm looking at here. You know, I feel confident in Cam Scatterboo. Jadarian Price, I feel pretty confident in. I feel like, Zach Charbonnet, there was reports that came out that Charbonnet could potentially be ready for week 1. I don't know. I would be surprised. The Seahawks obviously moved on from Ken Walker. So I think there's a good chance that Jadarian Price is worth the pickup. So I am gonna go for J.K. Dobbins here. When healthy, he's been a solid runner. Obviously, I do have a little bit of concern of like, what is RJ Harvey gonna look like this season coming into the second year? Will he take the lead and be favored? Let me pull up real quick over here. You guys are not going to be able to see this, but looking at the splits last year, it was favorable for J.K. Dobbins, and then he through the first 10 weeks it was pretty spread out a little bit, but J.K. Dobbins was in that 53, 45, 67, 44, 53, 50, 49, 52, 46, 52% of snaps and before the injury, and then he was out. But the fact that he was so productive in those 10 games, despite it being split, and those splits weren't even with RJ Harvey. This was spread out between 4 running backs. So RJ Harvey, his hit during those first 10 weeks, 29, 33, 29, 41, 20, 28, 25, 27, 32, 28, and then J.K. Dobbins got hurt, and we saw RJ Harvey hit the 61%, 47, 68, 68, 59, 65, 56, So there is the concern that RJ Harvey could have a bigger role here, but I don't mind grabbing J.K. Dobbins. I think he's a solid running back. But now let's go for No, I'm not going to go for a quarterback, actually. Let's get our tight end. And the tight end I'm looking at, we got George Kittle coming off of Achilles. Don't love that. We got Jake Fergie. He's been a solid tight end. But the guy I'm looking at here is Dallas Goedert. I think Dallas Goedert is one of the better tight ends that you can draft later in rounds. With AJ Brown no longer there, we saw in the absence of AJ Brown, Dallas Goedert always has been a favorite of Jalen Hurts. Now no AJ Brown. They did go in draft a wide receiver. So Devontae Smith is the main guy. But I do think that Dallas Goedert is going to benefit from the absence of AJ Brown in this offense. So I don't mind grabbing him there. Isaiah Likely's sitting here too. I do like Isaiah Likely as well, but I think Dallas Goedert is going to be in a solid position this season, especially for fantasy football. So we have 3 more spots, bench spots, defense, and a quarterback. Looking at the quarterback situation here, honestly, I think I'm going to wait. I think I'm going to wait on the quarterback situation. Let's take a look at running backs. Is there any running backs that I feel like I want to take a shot on? No. So I'm going to go with a wide receiver. We got Jaden Reed, Josh Downs, Stephon Diggs, who's not on a team yet, but he will. I do think the Commanders should go out and get Stephon Diggs. That would be a huge boost to that offense. But I am going to go with Josh Downs here. No more Michael Pittman there. They didn't bring in anyone that is going to take away significant amount of targets. So it's Alec Pierce, Josh Downs, and then we got Tyler Warren, who I think are going to be the main target share holders on this team. And without Michael Pittman, I think he had like 111 targets last year. Roughly there's 111 targets to be spread out between Josh Downs, Alec Pierce, and Tyler Warren. And Josh Downs has been a solid value receiver for the last it feels like the last few seasons. He's been a solid fantasy value to pick up. Now he hasn't really, there was a good stretch that if you were starting him, you were happy, but I think we could see more consistent. I think he had around 80 targets last season. If we can get him up to that 100 mark, I think he's good. I think it's going to be a steal either way, him going this late in draft. So one of my favorite value or later round wide receivers with Josh Downs. And now let's see, we got 2 more bench spots. We are heavy. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide receivers. So yeah, might as well go for another running back. Why not take a shot on a running back? Jordan Mason. I think he's going to be the running back that's in on first and second down, and then bring in Aaron Jones, who's a lot older, as the pass catcher. Kind of surprised that Aaron Jones is still playing, to be honest. He had some decent games last year, but I just feel like that dude's getting old. But so I could go Jordan Mason here, but there's been a lot of reports talking about Jonathan Brooks, him being used as a pass catcher. Obviously the situation is very unknown, and being this late in drafts, I think I'll take a shot on someone in a PPR format that has the potential to be used a lot in the passing game, which I've already seen stuff about him lining up as a receiver and stuff. I'm gonna go with Jonathan Brooks here. Let's take a shot here. Like I said, I feel like we already have our foundation of running back, so I don't mind taking a shot there. And then, so now we need 1 more bench spot, and then a quarterback, and then our defense. So let's take a look at the QBs here. It looks like everyone has a quarterback, and it looks like this team here drafted multiple quarterbacks. So multiple teams with multiple quarterbacks, which honestly, I don't know about your leagues. These are obviously doing a mock draft with computers here, but in my leagues, there's multiple people that draft multiple quarterbacks in a single quarterback. It drives me nuts, to be honest, because you'll have someone that will draft someone like Lamar Jackson or something like that, and then they'll go and draft someone like Trevor Lawrence or Jackson Dart, you know what I mean? So they'll have multiple quarterbacks, or Dak. That's a classic one that I'll see. Like someone that drafts like a quarterback very early will draft someone like Dak or someone like that. And in these kind of format, I think it's a waste of pick to draft multiple quarterbacks. My opinion. I don't know if you agree or not, but personally, that's how I feel. I am going to go for a quarterback, though. I just feel like I should. And I'm looking at Kyler Murray and Tyler Shuck. Tyler Shuck, honestly, is pretty appealing to me. Through the last half of last year, I believe he was a top 10 quarterback. If you go from like week 10, I believe he started getting the start. Something like that. I'm not going to pull up the stats right now, but he was a top 10 quarterback through the last half of the season, I believe. And you know what? I'm going to quickly double check that because I don't want to be wrong and get killed in the comments. Well, let's see here. I got time. I'm just going to draft Tyler Shuck, though. I'm going to draft Tyler Shuck. Yeah, from week 10 to week 18, he was a top 10 quarterback. So he has that rushing upside. The Saints are getting better. Believe it or not, the Saints are getting better. It's been a rough few years, but they seem to be on track. And I think they found something with Tyler Shuck. And like I said, top 10 quarterback last year through from week 10 to 18. So the last 8 weeks. He was a top 10 quarterback overall. So solid numbers for Tyler Shuck last year. Hopefully he continues to build on that. That's the goal, is to build on it. Let's not see any regression. Let's see him build on that. We'll see how that goes. But we need to pick a defense in another bench spot. So I'm going to take a look at the wide receivers. And Jalen Naylor is someone that I've been drawn to, especially drafting late. But with all the injuries going on, with the 49ers, this guy is going to get boosted. 110%. He's not going to be going this late in drafts by the time people start drafting in their leagues. Unless they're drafting right now, you probably still can get away with getting him probably going undrafted in a lot of leagues. But by the time end of August comes, this guy is not going to be going undrafted. And it is Deshaun Stribling. With all the injuries with the 49ers, I think it's a great opportunity for him. Ricky Pearsall dealing with that knee injury, potentially needing surgery, which will knock him out for the entire season. So that automatically gives him the leap to potentially be the wide receiver 2 behind Mike Evans, especially because also Christian Kirk suffered a calf strain. He's expected to be out. I wouldn't be surprised if the 49ers went out and brought in Deebo Samuel. But right now, Deshaun Stribling is making noise in training camp, making some good plays that is catching a lot of people's attention. And, right now, like I said, he's being being undrafted. As time goes on, this news cycle, gets pushed, his ADP is going to rise. So I don't mind taking a shot on Deshaun Stribling, and we'll see. We'll see how that plays out as we get closer to the end of August. And for my defense, let's see. Yeah, I am going to go with the Seattle Seahawks as my defense. And that is going to wrap it up. So this was a 0 RB build draft that I did. 4th pick overall. And let's see how I did. Let me know in the comments what you think about my draft here. I'm sure there's going to be people that disagree with how my approach, the running backs that I chose, all that kind of shit. Let me know. I want to know in the comments. Let me know what you like, what you didn't like, what you agree, what you disagree. I want to know this stuff. But here is the final lineup. Tyler Shuck, Cam Skattebo, Jadarian Price, Puka Nacua, Nico Collins, Dallas Goedert, T. Higgins, Zay Flowers, Seattle Seahawks as the defense. Then we got on our bench Tony Pollard, J.K. Dobbins, Josh Downs, Jonathan Brooks, and Dejon Stribling. Overall, I think it's a pretty solid team. I don't know. I think I'd be pretty happy about that. I mean, there are a lot of, those wide receivers are pretty freaking solid. Not only that, that is good ammo to go out and target, a couple weeks in. If you realize like, hey, this zero RB build, it's been tough. Let me go and target a running back and let me use some of my elite wide receivers like a Zay Flowers or someone like that. Nico Collins, you know what I mean? Like, you have the option to go out and you have the ammo to go out and go make a trade. So overall, I think a pretty solid draft here. Again, let me know in the comments what you think about the draft. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, catch you back here for the next one.